Hello, I'm Alexis and welcome to another weekly reading vlog, Pride Edition. If you watched my TBR, you already know this, but one of my favorite things to do in June is to absolutely pack my TBR full of queer romance books. It makes me so incredibly happy, and the beginning of June is just such a happy time for that. In my city, we celebrate Pride the first weekend of the month and then throughout the month, but the big celebration is the weekend. So in preparation for all of the festivities, I am going to be reading some queer books. I actually just got back from the Pride Parade, and in a minute I'm going to flip you back to last night when I actually made this shirt to wear, along with a few other things. But first I thought I would give you the TBR for the week. What are we reading? So first up, we have two physical books on our TBR, A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosoko Jackson and Blood City Rollers by V.P. Anderson and illustrated by Tatiana Hill. So this one is obviously a gay romance, has to do with the restaurant industry. They are both chefs, they are rivals to lovers, fall in love, gay shit happened, so cute. And then this one is actually a local author to me, so I really wanted to support her and buy her graphic novel. And I mean, how could I resist? It's about a queer vampire roller derby team. Like, this is gonna be the best thing ever. So those are my physical reads for the week. And then on audio, I have borrowed both of these from the library, and I will be listening to Friday I'm in Love by Cameron Garrett. And this one is like happy coming out story. It's about a girl who she's too old to have a sweet 16 party, but she's really envious of a classmate that's getting to have one. So instead, she's going to throw a coming out party, and it's just really a celebration of not only queer joy, but Black joy as well. I actually have 3 audiobooks I'm listening to this week. I forgot one. So the next one is Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, and this one is kind of out of my comfort zone. It's actually a Victorian romance, but there's sapphic representation, so I'm here for it. Any book that has a Taylor Swift lyric as its title, I'm going to be interested in. And I've heard it's compared to like Bridgerton meets The Parent Trap, but make it gay. So that sounds like an incredible time. And last up, we have The Romantic Agenda, and this one has asexual rep in it, which is a perspective I've never read from before, so very excited for that. And I've heard really great things from fellow queer booktubers. So yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible reading week and a great month, and I really just love the joy that Pride brings out. And yeah, I guess I will send you back in time to last night, Alexis, who decided last minute to try tie-dyeing for the first time and make my outfit for the parade. Okay, I think we have our crafting table set up. I will flip around and show you. First of all, we are tie-dyeing Onyx today. He's very excited. So I have an old shirt of Dan's that I cropped, and I think I'm going to do the bi flag on this one. And then I got this shirt from Michaels as a big oversized one, and I'm going to do a rainbow flag colors for this one. And I literally just decided I wanted to do this an hour ago, so thankfully Michael's was still open, and I got this big kit for $15, so that's what we're using today. And I YouTubed a tutorial on how to do a spiral tie-dye, and yeah, we're going to figure this out. All right, you gotta move, you gotta move. I'm being attacked.
Been to California, never been to LA, so I'll stay home.
Okay, we did it. That was a giant mess and way harder than I thought it would be. I also think I used way too much dye. I don't know if when I flipped it over, it was supposed to be like running dye and then all of the colors mixed together on the side I had just done. So that's probably my fault, but we're gonna see how it turns out. I have them hanging out in my bathtub right now. I can show you. I did a rainbow one, that's when my battery died. I made Dan one. He requested a pink and green tie-dye. And then my bi-colors, this being my first one I made, I think will probably be the worst. Probably should have started out with a different one, but whatever. Just all of the purple bled into the pink. Like, yeah, you can really see it on that side. If we're going to end up with any pink at all, I hope so. Backup plan, I got some Pride earrings I can wear. These have to hang out until 6 a.m. and then go in the washer, and the parade is at 11, so hopefully I'll wake up in time to do this. And yeah, I will show you the results tomorrow. Good morning. We are on our way to coffee and then the parade, and I am so happy with how this shirt turned out. Like, I can't even believe it. I thought for sure it was going to be a muddy purple brown mess, but no, it's really cute. I wish that the pink was a little brighter and like down here, but whatever. First time, I can always make a new one now that I know what I'm doing. And here's the fit for the day. I have some rainbow eyeshadow on my under eye and my rainbow earrings, and we are just picking up my sister now, and we're gonna go read at a coffee shop for a minute, and then head over to the parade. To update you that I did finally start an audiobook today, and that is Friday I'm in Love by Cameron Garrett, I think is the author. And this one is a YA romance. It is about a girl in high school who she really wanted to have a sweet 16, but her and her mother just couldn't afford it at the time. So now she is planning a coming out party, and she is going all out, rainbow dress, rainbow cake, all the fun stuff. And her best friend Naomi are just planning the perfect party. And then along with that, there is a new girl at school who is dating like the really annoying jock character, but our main character has a huge crush on her. So she's trying to navigate that and getting to know the girl. So far, it's super cute. It is very much written like a YA book. It is, it's very young adult. I think I probably would have liked this more when I was 16, but I'm enjoying it so far. But right now I wanted to say hi because I am on my way to dinner for my sister's birthday. Hello, good morning. I am sorry I did not update you anymore last night after dinner, but I was in a food coma after all the delicious pasta I ate and that dessert. Plus, me, my mom, and my sister all got different desserts and then like passed them around the table and all had some of each. So, but it was so good. And now today, the goal is to finish Friday I'm in Love. I think I'm at the 50% mark. I've been listening to the audiobook. Yes, I'm at 50%, and I'm happy to say I'm liking it more than I did. I've gotten to know the characters. They've grown on me. It is still reading very, very YA, but it's dealing with more adult topics than I expected, so I'm enjoying that. So, like I was telling you yesterday, our main character, Mahalia, is throwing a coming out party. And we are at the point where she's decided to do this. She's made a game plan. She is going to pay for the entire party herself because her mom can't afford it, and she lives with her single mom. Her dad really isn't in the picture. He kind of moved on and has a new family now, and like she is in contact with him, but he's not really there for her. So she works after school at a grocery store, and she comes up with this big plan with her best friend Naomi that she is just going to save all of her money for this party, minus what she has to pay for her cell phone bill, groceries for the family, and gas. We're just kind of following her now. She keeps having little setbacks, and every chapter title actually tells us how much she has saved, and then it'll be like minus $5 for Starbucks, like that kind of stuff. So I like that it is dealing with like the adult topic of money and just growing up with a parent that can't give you everything that they wish they could. Like her mother absolutely wants to be able to pay for this party for her, but she just can't afford it. And that's a lesson that Mahalia is learning throughout this, that like her mother does really, really care for her, but sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And unfortunately, that's how life is. It's not fair that her best friend got to have this big blowout Sweet 16 and she can't do the same, but that's just how it is for some people. Has a home and food and water and electricity and a loving parent. She doesn't have everything she wants. So I'm liking that aspect of the book, and just like, and the lesson she's learning that parties are expensive. And then on the other side, we have the romance that is blooming. Mahalia has a huge crush on the new girl, Shaban, and Shaban is actually dating a boy right now. So Mahalia doesn't really know if Shaban is interested in girls, and kind of what to do. So she is just navigating how to be friends with this girl and get to know her. So it's just been really sweet so far. Mahalia is definitely like very flustered by everything this girl does, every little bit of attention. I'm definitely sensing that the girl is interested back in Mahalia because there are just little things, like she kissed her on the cheek, she's made comments about her body and finding her attractive, and it's just not straight girl behavior. So we're gonna see what happens there. Because it is a romance, I do have my suspicions that we'll have our happily ever after, but I won't spoil anything. I am going to get back to work. I have some pretty easy tasks I can do today while listening, so hoping to finish it before the end of the day. And it is the end of the workday. I am getting ready to head out to a garden store, but real quick, I wanted to update you because I did end up finishing Friday I'm in Love, and I'm gonna go with a 3-star for it. It was predictable, as you would think with a YA queer romance, a coming-of-age story. I liked the ending a lot. I liked the way everything ended up playing out. I'm very happy with it, happy with the character growth. And I'm even very happy, this isn't a spoiler, but when Mahalia came out to somebody in the book, they didn't take it very well, and it actually took them a little while and some talking and research to become okay with Mahalia's queerness. So I liked the realisticness of that not everybody is just going to accept you right away, and it sucks and it hurts, but it was just a very real life book. It was very realistic. It wasn't all happy rainbows. It was a pretty good one if you enjoy YA romances or have a young adult in your life that you like to recommend queer books to. So other than that, we are now heading out to the garden center because we are very, very late in planting our garden this summer. Every summer we like to grow some vegetables, and I don't know what we're gonna get. Every year we say we're not gonna get too many, so hopefully we'll just stick to the ones that I am confident in that we grow every year. Definitely some tomatoes, some herbs like basil, cilantro. Peppers are always really good. So yeah, I will take you along and we'll see what we end up getting.
Random House Audio presents The Romantic Agenda by Claire Cole.
Hello and happy Thursday. It is 4 p.m. so just an hour left of work. It has been a very, very long, busy day. Okay, so plan for tonight. I have been listening to more of The Romantic Agenda, and my hold actually came in at the library for it, so my partner is picking it up now on his way home from work. I've made it 27% in to the audiobook, and I'm enjoying it more now than I was probably like an hour ago. So this one is about our main character, Joy, and she's asexual. And for literally years, she has had a huge crush on her best friend, Malcolm. Like, she's head over heels in love with him. He is also her boss. They met in college and they've worked together ever since, and he ended up opening a company and he asked her to come on and work for him. So it's a little bit of a messy situation, but their lives are very much entwined. They're best friends, they work together, they tell each other everything, except, you know, the fact that she's in love with him. Beginning of this book, Malcolm comes to Joy and says, I've met someone and I want you to come on this weekend trip with us where I'm going to ask her to make it official. And Joy is like heartbroken. She didn't even know he was seeing anyone. And she is using this trip as like her last chance to tell Malcolm how she feels. They end up getting there. They're like camping at this like lake house type something. It sounds great. And they get there and there's another man there named Fox. And Joy and Fox have just now realized that this was probably a trap to set them up. So I'm kind of hoping they work together and do like a fake dating type thing. So far, all of the characters are fine. We're not really getting too much of Fox, so I can't say either way how I feel about him. I will say, and maybe it's just me because I have this problem like in everything, but I just hate like the miscommunication or even just like hiding feelings. Like that's something I cannot stand in books. Like if you love this guy, just tell him. I don't know. Like I know, like this is a thing. People can't just come out with their feelings, right? But like if it were me, I would just tell the guy, and either he loves you or he doesn't love you back, but at least you know, and then you're not going through all this heartbreak when he's dating somebody else. But yeah, just like the fact that she's been like pining after him for years, I don't know. I mean, it'll be cute if it's like mutual pining and it comes out that he has felt the same way about her all this time. I like that shit. But what I'm actually hoping will happen is that Joy and Fox do like a fake dating thing to make, Malcolm and Summer is the girl he's interested in, to make them jealous. And then I hope Joy and Fox get together. Cause like, I don't know, just like this guy has had how many years and he's never expressed interest in you. Like, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But right now I am kind of rooting for Joy and Fox to get together. Yeah, part of the reason I just wasn't really enjoying the beginning was Joy was being like really bratty about everything. Like she was complaining about having to sit in the back seat of the car and complaining about Fox being there and complaining about every single word that came out of Summer's mouth. Like, we get it. You're jealous because you want to be with this guy, but like, it's not Summer's fault. Like, don't take it out on her. She doesn't know that you've been in love with your best friend for years and too scared to tell him. So she is being nicer now to both Summer and Fox. I hope it keeps up, because I'm just not here for like the pouting and the brattiness. So I'm gonna keep listening to this. I should be able to listen for the next hour of work. After work, we are going to the gym. I have editing to do, like I said. I did, we did buy all of those plants that I showed you last night from the garden center, but it's been kind of rainy today, so I don't think I'll be like putting them in their containers yet for the season. That might be a weekend job. Like, that's just a lot of work that I don't want to do. Hello, I am back from the gym and making dinner now. We are having leftovers from last night, so the same tofu black bean burritos, and we also went grocery shopping, so I got a bell pepper and some onion. I'm gonna fry that up and do some fajita veggies with our burritos. But I wanted to give you a reading update because for the first time in months, I listened to my audiobook at the gym. I usually listen to music while I'm walking on the treadmill because I just couldn't stop. I'm obsessed with this book. It is getting so good. I lift you up so I don't have to crouch over. Yeah, I'm like sort of obsessed. As soon as Joy started being nice to the other characters, like, I'm in it. I really, really like the, I don't know if I should call him the male love interest because there's kind of two male love interests, but I really like the character Fox. He is the friend that she's fake dating now. They did agree to fake date, yes. Yeah, if it were me, I would be going with Fox. I like him a lot. They're getting to know each other now. And like, to be honest, I don't like Malcolm. He's not worth it. He's not worth being obsessed over for years. Like, you have Fox now. So I am going to make my dinner and then probably keep listening to the book. morning. It is Saturday morning. I know I didn't talk to you at all yesterday, and I'm sorry for that, but I didn't actually read at all. So today we are heading out for our Saturday morning hike that we do every week. So I will film some clips of the trail that we walked today, but real quick, I wanted to give you an update because I say I didn't read it all yesterday because the new Sabrina Carpenter song, Please, 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 got released, and I'm not even joking. I had it on repeat nonstop all day. Just literally repeat. I listened to that song probably 5 million times yesterday. The obsession is very, very real. I've already listened to it probably 15 times today, and the only reason I've stopped is because my partner's home, and I think he'll kill me if I play it one more time. So other than that, I think I read one chapter of The Romantic Agenda. I was reading in bed last night and falling asleep, so you can see I have barely any left. I wanted to push through, but I just couldn't. I think I have 15 pages. So I will be finishing that today when I get back from my hike, and just wanted to give you a quick update before the end. I am in it. I am loving it. I love where it's going. I really hope it ends how I want it to. I'm obsessed. This is one of the best romances I've read this year. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Is this my favorite romance I've read this year? Nothing else is sticking out, so maybe. It's really, really good. I'm just loving the chemistry between the two love interests. Yeah, so the ending will determine the final rating because I do still have a fear that it'll go away. I don't want it to, but if all goes to plans, this is going to be a 5-star.
I think there's another universe where I haven't yet felt pain. And maybe in that other universe, I'm a flower under the rain. I think somewhere in a different life, I'm still 7 in 2nd grade. And I'm so happy that I feel alright, and that I haven't met my brain.
Hello, editing Alexis is here to save the vlog because once again, iMovie hates me and decided to delete 20 minutes of footage that I had for this. So fuck my life, but I am not letting her get the best of me. I am salvaging what I can of the footage, and we're just gonna fill in the blanks here. So what you missed out on was, first of all, my review of The Romantic Agenda. I'm a little sad this footage is gone because I filmed my reaction to the ending. I love this one so much. This is going to be 5 stars. It is going down as one of my favorite queer romance books of all time. I just love the character development in the end. Conversations were had, things happened. I just love it. I love the direction it went. I love the journey that the main character went on, and I'm just overall happy with how the love story turned out. So very, very happy that I decided to pick this one up for this vlog, and I recommend you do too if it sounds at all interesting. This is definitely the best book that I read in this vlog. Next up, it deleted all of the footage of this next book, which honestly, if it were gonna do that to any of the books, I'm not mad that it did this one. And that is A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosoko Jackson. And that is because, unfortunately, this was the worst book that I read for this video. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. It just wasn't for me. Okay, so in this one, we have our main guy, Malachi, and he decides to go back to his hometown, and it's this small little town called Harper's Cove in Maine, and they're like a fishing village, because he graduated college, and he ended up getting fired from his job, and his boyfriend broke up with him. So he's just kind of at a low point in life right now, and his plan is to go back home for the summer, save up some money, and try and enroll in this program to help him get back on track. So while he's in town for the summer, he ends up working at Logan's restaurant. And all that sounds fine. It sounds like a great food-centric romance. But it really wasn't. The food kitchen scenes in this were very, very minimal. Most of the book was just really in Malachi's head. Like, this guy had no less than 5,000 thoughts per second, and we read all of them. And so many pop culture references that, like, I'm okay with some of that in books, but when it's like 5 different references on one page, every single page of the book, like, I had enough. I ended up skimming a big portion of this, which I really don't do with books. I usually DNF, but I paid full price for this one. I was reading it for this vlog, so I did push through, and the ending was not worth it. I think the author made a really bad choice. Basically, the end, everything Malachi worked towards, he kind of just said, forget it, and threw all of his plans away for a guy. Not to mention the chemistry in this book, I didn't get it. I did not feel any sort of attraction between the two characters. It went from 0 to 100. Like, there was not even any flirting before they were, like, getting it on. So yeah, unfortunately, I will be unhauling this book, and I hope I never have to talk about it again. But that brings us to the next book, which we do actually have some footage from. So I will pop you over there in just a minute, but let me introduce it. And that is Don't Want You Like a Best Friend by Emma R. Alban. And this one is a sapphic Regency romance that is basically Bridgerton meets The Parent Trap. So we have our 2 main characters, and they are out for their season, enjoying the balls, trying to find husbands, when they hatch a plan to get their parents together. And just chaos ensues. I love the characters in this book so much, as you will hear me gush about, so I won't go into too much more details, but I'm really, really happy I picked this one up. So I think that about sums it all up. Let's head back over to Vlog Alexis. Hello, we are in a different location today, my bathroom, because 2 reasons. 1, I am getting ready for bed because it is very late, and 2, Dan is already sleeping, so I'm as far away from him as I can possibly be with the door closed, so hopefully I do not wake him up. But yes, it has been a very long, productive day, but I did not vlog any of it. So we'll just do a little recap of what I've done. So number 1, reading update. I have made it a very far way into Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. And of course, I forgot my book in the living room, and I'm not gonna go get it. So we'll just check where I am in the audiobook. And that is 61%. I'm going to read a little bit more when I get into bed, and I should be able to finish this tomorrow. I'm really, really loving it so far. So I definitely should have updated you sooner, but once I got into this today, like, I couldn't put it down. I did start it last night, and I read probably about 100 pages in one sitting because I was so into it, like, right from the beginning. Really, really likable characters. We have Beth and Gwen, and they are our 2 young bachelorettes. They are going to all the balls and stuff to find husbands, and they end up meeting at the first ball. So, like, before the book, they did not know each other. So they meet and right away hit it off. Gwen is just so funny. Like, I could definitely see myself as the Beth character, and, like, I would fall for Gwen so fast. Like, she is just, like, she has a really great sense of humor. And so yeah, they start hanging out at all the balls. They're not really interested in any of the men. So this is actually Gwen's 3rd year, and, like, she takes the whole thing as a joke. She's not super serious about finding a husband, and her father doesn't really care either. So he's kind of fine with her blowing it off and just, like, continuing to go every year. I'm not really sure how it works, but, like, Beth and her mother are kind of in desperate situations. They need to find her husband this year, and that is because her father just died, and they basically have no money. Their house is about to get taken, and they need Beth to marry a man with money to help support them. So at this point, the gay shit has happened. Obviously, our 2 girls have fallen for each other, and, like, it is so good. It is so cute. Neither of the girls knew that they liked other women before. It's literally just like you see somebody and you realize this is what you've been waiting for. This is why talking to all those other guys didn't feel right, because you were meant to be with her. And through all of this, they are trying to get the pressure off of themselves. So they're coming up with all of these ways to get their parents to interact, and like, basically they want their parents to get married. That way they can just use Gwen's father's money to kind of support Beth and her mother. And then it just won't be so much pressure for Beth to find a husband this year. Even the parents' interactions are so cute. We actually find out that they had a history, of course, and she's kind of the one that got away. So it starts off with them absolutely hating each other, and it's just so cute to like watch them fall for each other again. And like, yeah, just such a better experience than A Dash of Salt and Pepper. Like, I can feel the chemistry with these two. These are just very well-written characters. Like, their motivations make sense. Everything is just making sense. I'm flying through this book. I've been alternating between the physical and the audiobook. I prefer the physical with this one because the audiobook, the narrators do like these like fake old lady British accents. Like, why? These are like young adult main characters. They don't need to sound like elderly women. So I really tried to only listen while I was working today. But besides that, I had a really busy day at work and I did a lot of editing. But I'm gonna go read more of this now, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Hello again. Please ignore that I am a little sweaty from walking. I probably should have filmed this update before, but I had already put off walking all day. But I do have an update. While working today, I finished Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, and after some thought, I'm gonna go with 4.5 stars for this one. I really, really liked it, and it was just like such a different romance than I'm used to, because there were actually two couples that you were rooting for in the story. The parents that were in the Parent Trap scenario, and then the daughters that ended up falling for each other when they were supposed to be off finding husbands. So that was really, really cool. I liked both of the couples a lot. I just felt like it was such a step up from the last book I read. Like I was telling you, the characters just felt so realistic. There was so much good comedy in this. Like, I was scared with it being like a Victorian romance, it wouldn't be funny to me, but it was so funny. It didn't read like a historical romance. Like, it was definitely written more contemporary than I expected it to be. But for somebody that's not a big fan of that like subgenre of romance, I think this is a good way to kind of get introduced to it without it being too overwhelming. And this one left off with definitely the opportunity for there to be a sequel. So I would really be into that. At the end of this, they are once again scheming to get another couple together. So that would just be really, really fun. Even like the side characters, like the ones who at the end, like they lead up, could be the subject of the next book. Like, I liked all of the sub characters. It was just a really, really well-written book. I am very impressed. I've never even heard of this author before. I was scared going in, and I have a new favorite queer romance to recommend now. So now that that's done, we are moving on to the last book of the TBR, which is the shortest one. I did this on purpose. The graphic novel Blood City Rollers. This is by V.P. Anderson and illustrated by Tatiana Hill. And this is about a vampire roller derby team. I feel like I have talked nonstop about this book since buying it. I'm just so excited for this one, and I really feel like I'm gonna love it. And the art style is stunning, and there is so much color throughout. Like, really looking forward to this one. And so like, look at that. That's gorgeous. So I'm going to sit down now, read this one real quick, and finish out this vlog. finished my last book on the TBR, Blood City Rollers. I think I'm gonna go with, I'm between a 3.5 and a 4-star for this one. It was good. It just wasn't great. It's not a favorite of all time. There were definitely some things I wish were done differently. So we have this girl, Mina, and she's a figure skater training for the Olympics, and she's just been really pressured her whole life to pursue this dream that she doesn't actually know if it's her dream or she's just been told it's her dream her whole life, if you get what I'm saying. So we start off where Mina is competing in a figure skating competition, and she ends up tripping and breaks her arm. So her chances of making the Olympics are just completely shattered. Then as she is walking out of the skating rink, 2 dark figures throw a bag over her and kidnap her. And she just gets thrown into the life of paranormal roller derby. So it's a team of vampires who play roller derby that have kidnapped her because a rule to compete in this league is your jammer has to be a human. So, and this is like a great job of explaining roller derby because I really know nothing about it. There was that one movie about roller derby. I think Drew Barrymore and Elliot Page were in it. I can't remember anybody else, but I loved that movie. So like that's the extent of my knowledge of roller derby. I think it sounds really, really fun. And this was like a good refresher since it's been so long since I saw that movie to like what the rules are sort of. So Mina is going to be a very crucial part of their team. And this is really just her training, getting ready for their first competition, making friends. So I guess my main critique of this is like there wasn't a lot of world building. Mina didn't know vampires existed before she's kidnapped by them, and there's no really explanation of like how it works in this world. They end up living just in this abandoned mall and they're using it as their practice space and they're getting ready for the competition. And it's really just very competition focused. You don't really get a lot of character development in this besides Mina's, because she's kind of realizing that maybe figure skating isn't what she wants most in life. But besides that, you don't really get to know the other characters. There is like a character guide, so we learn everybody's names, but there's no like backstory or any information about them. Really besides the captain and the vice captain, we get a little bit about them. It did have an open ending, so it seems like they're setting it up where there could be more in the series. I'd be down to pick more up. I think just with more volumes of this, we'll get to know the characters a little better, and I think that will help with the issues I'm having. Because I have to remember, this is just the first volume in who knows how many graphic novels to be. So I think I'm going to stick with a 3.5. It just doesn't feel strong enough to be a 4-star, but a 3.5 is still a great rating. It still means it's a good book. It's better than average. And I'd be interested to pick up more from this author in the future. So since we've finished the TBR, I guess that means time to close out this vlog. I had so much fun this week reading all of the queer romance books. I definitely got new favorites out of it, like The Romantic Agenda and Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. Those will definitely be going on any future recommendation lists I make. If you enjoyed this one, please leave me a pride flag below because it is still June and Pride Month. And remember to keep reading queer books. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you read a good book today, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye.